Mpo,
Yes, sir.
what's going on?
Bro, it's a cold day in
so
Johannesburg.
cold. And we're here in t-shirts.
And we're in t-shirts, bro. Just adrenaline pumping. You understand?
You enter every room in the highest resolution. So please, whoever's watching this, we need you to raise your standards and clear out storage because our next guest does not come uncompressed. MPHO.WAV, shout out. Thank you for pulling
Shout
in,
out,
brother.
my brother.
What's your relationship with tea? You like tea? You enjoy tea? What?
I actually enjoy coffee more than
for real?
tea. Yeah.
What is the tea? What's something that you can tell me from your life right now? A hot take,
hot take.
something that interesting that's happening right now. What is the tea?
Oh man, I think I just landed from Lisbon to do one of like what I'd say is like my biggest highlight shows of this year so far. And yeah, I'm doing it the second time around. I did it last year, and I mean just coming back.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Popeyes, you know when we're in 4 ways, guys always gotta come rev their bikes.
Yeah, it's just like just going to have breakfast
on a bike.
Yeah, man, it was my second time out in Portugal, Lisbon, one of the cities that showed me love, since the beginning. So yeah, it was quite an interesting thing to go back out there. Yeah, man, I just landed like a couple of days back. And yeah, that's what's happening. That's the tea, bro.
That is the tea, bro.
That is
And you mentioned Book of Wave, your debut album, bro.
Yeah.
What a great album.
Yeah.
What chapter would you say you in your life right now, if we had to go into the Book of Wave, what chapter are you in personally in your life right now?
Right now, I'm just in a space whereby I'm trying to understand what's going on. Like I see what's happening. I think I'm in the space. I'm right by the door. I can see what's going on, who's doing what, who's who. But it's just understanding the holistic point of being an artist. Not just being in the studio and creating beats, but understanding that you're a business and that you need to think about how you're going to sell yourself, how you're going to present yourself to people as a brand, as an artist, and how you are essentially going to run this ship because it needs oil, it needs money. How do you generate profits? How do you save? How do you plan? So I think I'm at that space right now where I'm trying to understand it to the depth of it. And creatively, I'm just doing my thing, man. Creatively, I don't think I have too many challenges. It's just getting into the studio and creating what I feel is something that I've spent a lot of time doing. So I know, you can put a laptop right now, make a song.
You can do it.
We go. We get that. But right now, that's not really, for lack of a better term, important. What's more important right now is taking this now that we've mastered and turning it into something that's
sustainable.
It's sustainable, that you can pick up and be like, okay, this guy is really working, So yeah.
If we had to read the introduction to the Book of Wave, what would we say are your early influences when you started becoming a DJ? Was it people, moments, experiences? I mean, tell me it all. It doesn't just have to be people.
Let me take it back because it's quite a unique story from people who sat on this table with you that I've seen. I've watched the show a couple of times. So I started out as a session musician. I was a church musician, and then I started being a session musician, playing behind different artists, playing keyboards and percussions and all of those things. So then I'm the type of person who doesn't want to sit in the same place for too long. Like it gets uncomfortable and itchy. And, and then I just want to upgrade and kind of like get a new skill type of thing. And so I moved, I started doing covers of songs, and I touched a bit on standard musicians' catalog in Simi, and that kind of like brought attention to what I sort of like do. And then fast forward to a couple of months later, some musician hits me up. It's like, yo, bro, I love what you're doing to the music, come through. And it's kind of like be an in-house session musician for us, So I come down to Joburg all the way from the Val So
you're originally from the Vaal?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Fire.
So I get to Johannesburg, meet up with this guy, pulls up the project. The first project is by Azana, whom we love and adore right now.
Yeah.
She's become such a very, force, like a very big force in the music industry right now. She's one of the vocalists who are doing it.
Yeah.
And so got into studio with him, started creating, I started working on these songs, and man, I don't know what happened, Fast forward, I'm making my own records, in the same studio with him. And it's like, he's supporting this whole thing. And man, I just started releasing music under his label. And bro, that was it, man. We did the first song, we did the second one. I released remixes. And so many remixes I've released over the years. And, it was just like, and then more came, and
amazing,
I just ever since that time I've never wanted to be outside of the studio, and the same attitude of wanting to upgrade myself and not be in the same space, continued.
So how do you decide, to go from playing the keyboard to now actually creating your own music? What does that look like, bro? Do you even know if you have the talent? You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and create your own music because you're just from the keyboard.
I think that's the weird part about me, is that even learning the piano, I was not even formally trained. Just comes from, I can just look at you doing something and imitate
just have that natural talent of music, bro. What was your first gig?
My first gig.
And did you have to fight for the gig, or was someone just hey, fill in?
I think there's so many, but the one that I remember the most was through Sana Musician. It was in Kenya, in Nairobi. Yes. I played my first gig in Nairobi.
That's crazy.
That was insane.
Wow.
So that year, I think they had a show that they used to put together with a very, very great friend of ours called Eugene from Nairobi, Kenya, and Suraj, who have really shaped Afro House in their country and ours as well. So they had a show. And the plan was for Sana Musician to get some of his friends to be on the lineup and stuff and such. And so at that moment, he saw it fit, for us and Kenza and the rest of the artists that were in the label at the time to be a part of the show. So we got an opportunity, obviously, to take a flight with him, go out in Nairobi, have the whole experience, of what being an artist is like, being in the green room with the rest of the artists that are on the lineup, networking, that was my first experience, outside officially. Man, and there's a couple of memorable moments after that, Oh man, I think Vanco.
That's the
Vanco, Vanco.
This is his cafe, by the way. he's always pulling in.
Oh right here. Okay. Yeah. I think that's why some of his energy is somewhere here, around here. He's actually one of the guys who put for me together an opportunity to make revenue from the work that I'm doing. You understand? So he called me and he was like, "Yo, boy, I'm supposed to be in Amsterdam. There's a gig in Sandton. Can you pull up there and do it?" And without a doubt, whether I didn't even know that it was gonna pay or not. Went straight for it. And after that, it was like, this is actually a paying job. So I think he's one of the guys that I personally love to give a shout out to. For kind of showing me that you can actually do this thing. And Shimza did my first booking at UR, together with Dark as well, and ever since then, man, I think my career has taken a very significant, I'd say, acceleration, since then, because of the work that I've done, making sure that I get known and I cross over the line and people kind of know who I am. So
did win a summer for
Oh,
your
yeah.
remix of Hlala by Bungiziwe Mabandla.
Yes, sir.
Let's just to that. And don't you think it's crazy that Hlala basically means stay?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's kind of like a stamp of approval that you're here to stay, dog. This is for you.
I think that's the best way to put it, you know. And I think I just want to put in a lot more work to make sure that happens, you know, and that becomes a reality.
So did your name then change to Umpo Ki-Wave Barakapa? Because now it's your wave. It's your wave. No one must come here. You created your own thing.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing, you know, and that's the best thing about this journey is that it becomes yours, you know. It becomes yours to learn, it becomes yours to understand, it becomes yours to figure out, and that's what's important, you know. As long as you stay the course and you figure it out and you make it happen, and you wake up every day to do the things that pull you towards it. I think only the best can come out of that.
Where's your dream place to perform in the world?
June, Paris. Yeah, without a doubt. Tomorrowland, there's a lot. Tomorrowland, I really want to play Labyrinth. And there's so many shows, you know. And I think I'm well on my way there, and you know, I just hope that you know, it really comes together.
I actually was at your latest performance, getting some questions from the crowd. I promise they're not ChatGPT created at all. You know, these are real questions from real people. Yeah, very excited to give them here to you today. Anonymous Ibeko asks, if your personality had a BPM, what are we working with here?
If my personality had a
BPM, what are we working with? Is it, I don't even know how BPMs work. Is it 140, 80?
Right. Oh no, that would be wild. I'd say 120.
Okay.
120.
Is 120, is it high, is it low? What is 120?
120 is high enough for you to dance and feel, for me. Yeah.
This guy, Tepo Records, asks, if you were older, would your name be Umpo Cassette?
I think it would be Umpo Vinyl.
Umpo Vinyl,
That would be like that. And I'm like, at that time, I'm just like a vinyl god.
Yeah. Do you see yourself going till you a madala, bro?
I think it would do me a lot of good. You know, but like I don't want to do that and have not grown in other avenues of life, you know. So I still want a family. I still want to settle down. I still want the best of it. I want to come out in the morning and have breakfast like these people over here, just, you know,
on a random Thursday,
you know,
11 a.m.
check out my vinyls before I pick up my kids from school. You know, I really want to grow like that, you know, grow to the level of Oskido. You know, I was visiting Oskido's house during the time when we were working on a remix called Tamandebele that I did with Atmos Black.
Clean.
So, man, what a crazy life. What a crazy life, you know. I think that's the best way. You need to age. That's the way you age, bro. That's the way you're supposed to live. That's the way you're supposed to grow, and I love it, bro. And I want to. I look at that and I'm like, I want this for myself.
Are you at that age or at that point of your career now where you realize, you know, this is a higher purpose? You know, you're not just doing it because you like music. It's like, hey, this is who I am. This is coming from somewhere that I can't even explain. Like, do you think you're at that stage right now?
Yes, definitely. And I felt that there was a particular memorable moment in Lisbon, Portugal that was like, okay, more of like a defining factor as to why this might actually really be where I need to be. You get what I mean? And I think in that moment when I think it was my first time I saw a record. I mean, I've done a lot of records and had a lot of DJs playing the records, like from Black Coffee to Shimza to, like, you know, the big names, Silent Musician. Like I've done a song in the morning, given it to Silent Musician, gone out to a gig with him, and he plays it the same night, and it goes crazy, you know. But I think at that point was my first time I played a song that I started from scratch, created, doubted it, redid it, rearranged it, sang on it, mixed it, finalized it, submitted it, played it, and saw people sing along. And that was like that was like a goosebumps moment, and you know, like, yeah, chills going down my blood.
When they study the Museum of the Greats one day, bro, what do you want your exhibit to say?
Yo, that's a hectic question. That's a really good question, actually. I think I've always been a person who's wanted to do more, and I think that's what I want. You know, like to be an epitome of. To be an epitome of wanting to do more, you know, like don't be comfortable, you know, like I think that's what I would want it to, like, don't get comfortable.
Yeah,
it's what I would love to have written on my exhibit.
What is one last thing you maybe want to cheers to, a shout out you maybe want to give? We're always cheersing at What's the Tea.
Man, I think shout out to everybody who's doing things, like, I mean, I'll tell you something about, like, being a creative. It's not something that even, you know, like your family would look at you and be like, okay, just cool, you can go there. Like, it's not, it's very unconventional. And I'm talking to, like, creatives right now and producers and people like you who start something like this, like a platform, something that's not, you know, you don't study and apply and get hired to do something like this.
Creativity is not tangible
exactly
at the beginning.
And I think that you need to be a really insane person, and I say this in the most respectful and most this is the highest level of a compliment. Like, you need to really be insane to believe that something so unconventional, not typically done, and like, you need to be really insane to think that you can do it. You know, so I think about that, and my mind is so blown. And I just want to say to people like us, you and I, people who are behind the cameras, people who just do stuff that isn't what typically you know, bank on at the beginning. Is to keep on going, bro. Like, it's possible, it happens, and there's so much in store for us. There's so much in store for us. We just need to keep on going. We just need to double the efforts each and every time, and, you know, just make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's all I want to say. Shout out, man. Shout out to everyone who's a creative, who's a producer, who's an engineer, who's behind an artist, who's managing the artist. I mean, I think we don't talk enough. We don't speak a lot about people who are behind us as creatives, as artists. So I want to shout outs to the people who are behind the brands, behind the products, making sure that it looks good, it sounds good, it's presentable. Man, shout outs, man.
Shout out, bro.
Shout out.
Cheers, bro. Okay, so my gifting there for tea, I should have given you coffee.
This is so perfect, because now it's on another level. I've never tried this flavor, right? You know what I mean? Now tea has gone to another level. I was saying earlier on that the level of teas is on another now. Right. Peach and apricot.
We gotta do it for the boys.
I appreciate it so much, bro. It's such a nice gift, bro.